For the authoritarian parenting, which again, my way or the highway, it's 9 o'clock, time for bed, you got to eat the chicken and the pasta. The child feels small. They feel unimportant. They feel abandoned. They feel that they don't matter as much. They lack a lot of self-confidence.
Yeah.
And the child feels, again, disrespected and very controlled.
Yeah.
And you sometimes just see this child just kind of get small around their parents. When they're younger, they retreat. When they're older, they become defiant and rebellious.
Yeah.
And the child avoids treatment. They avoid goals because they're almost afraid to take a risk because of getting criticized or judged.
Right.
It seems uninvolved due to the fear of making those mistakes because of the parent being so overly controlling and involved. What do you have to say?
Or it could be a child that does the goals, right? Because it's almost like, well, I have to do them because dad is staring me down and like he's telling me I have to do them. But then this might be a child that in treatment, when we think about like a feelings chart, right? Like let's say like a 5 is when things feel really scary and a 0 is when things feel really, really comfortable for us and good. This might be a child that constantly is feeling in that 5 out of 5. Like this feels really, really scary. And so we're not navigating those feelings with the child. And we're not talking through those things. So they're constantly feeling all the time this high anxiety because they're still doing it, which is maybe what we're supposed to be doing, but they're not working through the understanding of how to get through.
Would you say that perfectionistic nature of a child when they're so overly a perfectionist could be related to parenting style? What are you feeling with that? Like in terms of having an authoritarian parent and a child being a perfectionist to the nth degree perfectionist?
It could be. I think that could be definitely something to further explore. I think parenting is like
I got to get it right because mom wants this, dad wants that.
I think there's, I mean, that's like a whole other topic because I think there's definitely individuals that have specific temperaments. And I think perfectionism is definitely like part of like just potentially our temperament of like, we just might have been that type of person. Yeah. But I also think definitely parenting styles can impact the way that we perceive the world, which could include perfectionism. Perfectionism is a whole other topic because we see so much.
Jenna.
Yeah, we see so much perfectionism in our treatment and specifically at camp. We talk about it a lot as we're talking to the parents. So I do think that could be something to explore.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that it's not as uncommon as people think yes, you can be kind of, especially like you said, temperament.
Yeah.
But I also see in my very authoritarian parents, children being almost afraid to take a risk because they're afraid they're going to make a mistake. But if they do, they work so much harder because they're afraid to make a mistake.
Yeah, definitely.
So you see those two sides of I'm not going to bother and they seem uninvolved. And they're afraid to take a risk because of fear.
Right.
But then so you see that.
Yeah.
And again, treatment is slower.
Yeah. Well, and also think about it. The permissive and uninvolved parents are the individuals that provide no control. So the child doesn't really need to become a perfectionist because, they can just do what they want. Right. Versus an authoritarian is a parenting style that has so much control, but no emotional kind of, or like no warmth, very, very little warmth. So these could be kids, like you said, that need to build some type of control because they don't have any. Right, so that could be in their perfectionism.